So recently, this critically acclaimed documentary called Iron Sky came out, which detailed different top-secret Nazi experiments and proved once and for all that the Nazis did in fact go to the moon before America, as many experts have believed in recent years. Now, the Asylum couldn't pass up an opportunity to cash in on this amazing discovery, and so they made Nazis at the center of the earth. Much like they made Sharknado, after Sharknadoes were discovered with the tragic destruction of many islands in the Caribbean in late November of 2012. Now, I'm gonna stop making stuff up now and watch the movie and tell you how awful it is. Well, first let's talk about the production of this film. It was made in less than 4 months, shot in 12 days with a budget of less than $200,000. Director Joseph J. Lawson cites Steven Spielberg, Peter Jackson, Sam Raimi, John Carpenter, John Landis, David Lean, J.J. Abrams, and Robert Rodriguez as visual influences, though he really should have also thrown in Kubrick just for good measure. It's been called absolute garbage, and also the Citizen Kane of Asylum films, though I think we should save that title for Citizen Bane, the upcoming Dark Knight ripoff. And also stop calling things the Citizen Kane of their respective media field. And I'm making stuff up again, so let's just get to it. Also, this was pseudo-suggested by Dr. Kinky Kinkles and actually suggested by Spartan456 on YouTube, who is a very nice man. Anyway, yeah, movie. The film opens with Nazis, as you would expect, in Germany in 1945. The Americans are coming, and Mengele is trying to leave Germany with his homemade steampunk fan project. Then a single tank comes up and Mengele destroys it. And the other Germans shoot at some Americans who are also there, and also are very bad at combat. Mengele, however, is very, very good at combat, as he fires 5 rounds and kills 4 American soldiers. Then slices another one's throat open before getting in the plane. Why wasn't this guy on the front lines again? He escapes, even though a tank very obviously shoots the plane right in its stupid Nazi face, and then we get the opening credits. Cut to Antarctica, where some guys are messing with a pole while this girl plays air guitar and drinks coffee. We find out that this guy likes that girl. Oh, this guy is actually a girl, and also might be mentally challenged.
Do you have any idea what it's like to find an 8-million-year-old viable sample of streptomyces frozen in the permafrost?
Yeah.
You hit metal!
How do you know you hit metal?
What the hell?
Oh god, Nazis! How'd they set up an entire base in Antarctica without knowing that there were Nazis also in Antarctica? What was that magic grenade? Next, we're introduced to like 3 actors within 10 seconds, and they're all bad actors and or the son of Gary Busey.
What is this?
Vibrio vulnificus.
I know what it is. I want to know what it's doing here.
Then why did you ask what it was? Why not ask, why is this here? Suddenly tractors, and now everyone's trying to find those people who were kidnapped by Nazis.
Blood! It's blood!
Everybody finally notices that there's this big obvious drag mark through the snow and they go after it. Meanwhile, those other 2 people, Mark and Paige, wonder why their kidnappers are wearing.
Why are they wearing...
Who are you?
I don't know, maybe it has something to do with the Nazi uniforms or maybe the swastika armbands? Oh, that's so cheesy. Mark wakes up on a table. Dr. Mengele is alive somehow, even though he'd be 101 years old, assuming this took place in 2012, and he starts to operate. Shouldn't he have restrained this guy's head? But the guy isn't struggling, so I guess he doesn't care. Gore warning! Also, apparently, making an incision under someone's hairline also allows you to rip their face off. I gotta admit, the first time I was watching this, it scared me a little. I was like, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna open the skull? Oh, that dude ain't got a face no more! So then this person is standing next to a hole. This guy gets lowered into the hole to save his fiancée or whatever, and also Jake Busey follows him. Then they're all in the hole. Then they're all confused about why it's warm even though Antarctica, and then they go in this tunnel because it's warm and that has to be where the people are. And then there's another hole. The Nazis give Paige some hamburger helper, but she breaks out of her confinement with a fork somehow and runs down the hall like a mental patient. She finds Faceless Mark, except now he has a face.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Except for those stitches and the awful scars. Gore alert. Oh, now she finds Faceless Mark, and he's also now Skinless Mark. Not actually Mark steals her fork and she runs away. Paige stumbles into a room with dead people or something and gets sandwiched and screams, and then we cut back to Busey as he stumbles over his lines.
If you don't signal by the time you reach the end, then we're pulling you back up. You got it?
And then whatever his name is goes down the hole.
Keep your weight back.
There's a lot of hole climbing in this film. Lucas is his name, unclips the rope for some reason, and this woman goes down after him. She also unclips the rope for whatever reason, and falls down a hole and screams like she wasn't expecting to fall down a hole even though she was being lowered into a hole. She and Lucas find a big underground forest with a fake friggin' sun and react to it in the most deadpan way possible.
God.
That's what I said. Then we find out that Paige is a doctor and also German, and Mengele is interested in that. Next, everyone's down the hole.
For centuries, people have been talking about worlds within the hollow earth. 18th century writers called it Agartha.
Yeah, and that's also really stupid, Jake Busey.
During the Second World War, this part of Antarctica was occupied by Germany. Hitler, actually, sent expeditions down here looking for the supposed entrance to Agartha at the South Pole. Some people say that this is the site of secret submarine bases. Some people say that this is the center of Nazi UFO research.
I'm sorry. How do you know all this?
Huh. When you lived in Antarctica for 10 years, you hear things.
From Nazis, maybe? Because you're starting to sound like a Nazi. I love this shot, it just sums up Jake Busey so well. Everyone just staring at him in disbelief. That dude says that the building looks familiar, but doesn't say why, and then they all just walk into it without thinking about it. Oh no, we're trapped and there's Nazis. We probably should have discussed more about walking into this obviously being maintained building in the center of the earth.
Heil Hitler.
He is a Nazi! Who could have seen it coming? Oh wait, I did. And I actually did because I write this as I watch the movie and that's what I wrote. How come the Asylum doesn't understand what subtlety is? It's like, how are we gonna foreshadow that this guy's a Nazi? Well, how about we literally have him recite off the Nazi operations that happened in Antarctica? Sounds good. Next we learn that Mengele replaced his skeleton with another one, which stopped his arthritis and osteoporosis and also made his health stop degrading. Also, Mengele is barely understandable.
You have no idea what is possible once science is liberated from emotion and so-called ethics.
Mengele vaporizes someone because he thinks he might be Jewish. And then Paige comes out and whispers with Mengele because she's a Nazi now or something. And I want to say Mengele again. Then everyone except Lucas is like, we should probably help the Nazis. And Lucas is like, no, I don't wanna, but I will for a bit, but then I won't actually. And then this dude's like, we're gonna die. The one air guitar girl walks in and sees this. She sees this. A guy with a rotting face and black eyes sitting completely still in front of a Nazi flag, and she does this.
Mark! Oh my god, are you okay?
Yeah, sure, it looks a bit like Mark, but if I walked into a room and saw one of my friends sitting in front of a Nazi flag with a rotting face, I wouldn't go, hey man, when'd you get here? I probably would. Mengele directs the protagonist to a lab where he holds all of the information to extend life, and then he says something incomprehensible.
Yet, all my efforts have been ephemeral.
And then he squeezes the dude's face. Everyone starts helping the dude because they're all Nazi sympathizers now, and they give the experimental man antibiotics so that he doesn't lose his face. What's-her-face gives What's-his-face some medical tools to help him do something, and then we find a Nazi zombie. They lead the women to the showers. This scene was supposed to be really dramatic. I mean, they're going to the showers. But I don't know any of their names, and this woman here has got maybe 10 seconds of screen time. Gross alert! One of the Nazi zombies forcibly strips the one girl, and air guitar gets taken to the operating room, and then blonde girl is a Nazi or something, I don't know. And then the Nazis rape what's-her-face or eat her. It isn't very clear, but either way it's disgusting, and I hate it, and it makes me regret my life choices. Suddenly steampunk. Can you figure out what's in there? This next scene is kinda disgusting, and I don't really want to talk about it. Gore alert! So May's head is open and her brain's wobbling out, and they extract something from it and inject it into the steampunk machine. Mengele gets angry because it didn't work, and then he rips out May's brain. Blonde girl is pregnant, and that's why she's been acting sick and disgusted for like the entire film. So now, because the stem cells from May's brain didn't work, they're gonna use the stem cells from her frickin' fetus. Yeah, it's not that nice. They inject a baby into the steampunk machine, and it starts making noises and opens, and turns into a robot? Oh my god, it's Hitler. Did you see it coming? Mecha Hitler. That's original. Wait. Do you see that gun there in the Nazi's hand, that big revolver thing? That's a painted Nerf Maverick revolver. It's fairly common for that kind of toy to be used in independent films, but usually they're modified to where they don't look exactly like the actual toy. For instance, in the film Hunter Prey, all the guns were Nerf guns. Now, I'm not here to comment on that movie, but at least the guns in it didn't look exactly like the actual toy. Mecha Hitler. Mecha Hitler. Powered by the fetus. And then a flying saucer. What's-his-face runs and Hitler pounces into action and cuts off his head. The UFO starts drilling to the surface as gross rot-faced Mengele suggests that he should rip off Lucas's skin and stick it on himself so that he and Paige can do the hurdy-dirty. But then she doesn't and she slices Mengele's neck, and then Lucas chunks some scissors at the guard and he dies. Face guy punches Lucas when they try and save the other dude, and they have a fist fight as Paige tries desperately to free other dude. Other dude stabs face guy in the butt and he dies. Gore alert. Then Lucas rips off face guy's face and throws it against the wall. As the saucer breaches the surface, a plane is flying by, and none of them are dressed to be visiting Antarctica, but they're there. They go back for Mark, even though why would you, because he doesn't have skin, and Mark is like, I ain't got no legs so you can just kill me, and Paige is like, no, and then he's like, yes, and then instead of just shooting him, Paige opts to inject an air bubble into his bloodstream. Because, I don't know. And then they're running and they're stormtrooper level of bad gunfire. Oh, I get it, because they're stormtroopers. And they shoot like stormtroopers, get it?
I'm getting MAD readings that show magnitude.
Yo, I'm getting mad readings over here. Wait, what ethnicity are these guys?
One big earthquake.
Sir, there's something still down there.
Because they kind of sound like New Zealanders, but really not, though. Busey shows off his teeth as these New Zealanders, but not, though, get permission to shoot the big Nazi flying saucer. So then the airplane starts launching missiles, but then Hitler EMPs the plane and it crashes into the... I'm sorry, it's just that sentence, man. Lucas blows up a bunch of Nazis, and then Hitler tells him to bomb literally everything while he goes to deal with the escaping Americans. They defeat another Nazi with a baseball, the most American of balls, and by forcing it to stab itself with some syringe that makes its eyes explode.
The flesh-eating bacteria. That's what Reichstag was doing. They're putting it in the bombs.
They're going to infect the planet.
Oh no, the planet! Dude gets stabbed by Hitler and there's awful blood effects seeping from his back, and then the stupidest scene ever happens.
Paige! Hey! Let me come out! Shit!
You were supposed to leave me.
Never.
Let's go now.
Why would you just jump out there? Why would you leave after Mecha Hitler isn't trapped? Are you idiots? Why didn't you leave while he was trapped? Blonde girl arms a grenade and it blows up the cockpit, even though earlier the exact same kind of grenade blew up a drill and nothing else. And Paige and Lucas escape in a lifeboat plane. However, Mecha Hitler lives.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
That's what I'm thinking too, Lucas. Mecha Hitler runs at them like a dumpy moron, and then planes show up, and then Hitler Iron Mans it to death. And then he picks up Paige with the worst special effects I've ever seen, and, well, just look at this. And he's never heard from again. Everything turned out okay. Except we're gonna freeze to death out here.
Yes.
Aw, but they're engaged. And then a helicopter picks him up and then credits. Interesting fact, this song that's playing right now, Jake Busey, who you may know as, improvisational abortion doctor, he plays the guitar. And I think he also might be singing, but I'm not sure. Here's my review of this film. Bad. It was bad. Not as bad as Atlantic Rim, but not a film that I ever want to watch again, or one that I want anyone to watch ever. In fact, if you really want to know what happens and this video wasn't enough for you, read the Wikipedia plot synopsis. That's better than watching the actual movie. And then Hitler's hand twitches. Sequel, anybody?